Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. One, it's kind of wild that we all have like the same shirts. Right? That's like we're in some sort of fellowship or something. I don't even know. But it's true, right? It gives us some sort of connection, to us in a way. But because, right, when we think about the world, there's so many ways in where we start to compare ourselves to each other. Or we compare our lives to some unrealistic standard. And when we begin to measure ourselves against one another, not only do we just lose this ability to empathize, we also have a tendency to forget about ourselves in the process. Because, I struggle with this now, right? Like, how do I stack up? Am I going to graduate on time? Is my research on track? Or, let me give you a little secret here. All my friends are getting married and having kids, but I'm still single, right? So when we all hang out, they get to talk about real responsibilities, like as if my bi-monthly board game and pizza night just isn't equivalent to rearing a child. I mean, I just struggle with this all the time, right? I mean, even early on, after graduating high school, I didn't even know where I wanted to go to college. I just felt lost. But my mom, being the all-knowing superhero, suggested a late-night trip to some local colleges might, cheer me up, right? So off we went, late at night down this wide open freeway, and she told me something I will never forget. She said, "Nicholas, everything is going to be just fine. Everything is just going to be just fine." And as the last words kind of just fluttered away from her mouth, bam! Glass shattering, metal buckling, time began to slow as the world began to spin, literally. A guttural scream from the driver's side seat deafened my left ear, and all of a sudden, we stopped moving. The once wide open, road was now a forest of trees and tall grass, and my mom and I were covered in blood. After being pried out of the car and placed onto a stretcher, we learned that we were hit by a drunk driver going 90 to 100 miles an hour. And as a poor single-parent family without health insurance, we could only last in that region for about a week, and my journey through homelessness began. Now, homelessness during the summer? No problem, I thought, right? I'll just sleep under the stars, pretend it's Boy Scouts, right? Just replace the trees with, concrete buildings. Or, maybe just the majestical sound of, great horned owls with the roaring cheering of drunk college students on their 21st birthday. But, as we began to explore the campus, we eventually found a nice public bench to rest our heads and go to sleep. But all of a sudden, I felt a violent jerk with the sound of radio chatter. "Excuse me, sir, if you intend to sit there, we're going to have to write you a ticket," the policeman said with kind of the same tenacity as if you ran a red light. "A ticket for sleeping on the bench?" "Yes, sir." And like being evicted from a hotel a week prior, I was now evicted from a public bench. And that surreal experience mulled through my mind as my mom and I walked throughout the city, and we began to realize, how many available public benches there were, right? But next to them, right, near doorways, alleys, and even behind dumpsters, were people. When I looked at that night, the same amount of people in this room I saw homeless. Next to every pristine public bench laid a human being with the only alternative but to seek the comfort of concrete that lay beneath them. That image, that polarizing visualization was my first experience with true empathy. Realizing how insane this experience is, right? Being so close to something, but yet so far away from something so attainable, right? And maybe we can empathize a little bit with that experience in some way. But I just felt like I was in this paradox, right? My insatiable desire to just have something such as, shelter, drastically contrasted with my ability to just follow the law. The paradox of homelessness is that the person experiencing it constantly must outweigh the challenges of survival versus just following the law and social norm. Because empathy goes far beyond just considering someone's perspective. It's about viscerally putting yourself into their position. As University Innovation Fellows, faculty, and just professionals in general, it's our duty to remember that each action we take can affect somebody. Whether it's a brainstorming session you just had, or a conference, or even a laboratory, every action that you take has an ability to dramatically affect someone's life. And if we can dive headfirst into viscerally joining in that experience, maybe, just maybe, we might be able to rediscover ourselves. Thank you.